It vanished. Just like that. How do priceless jewels, once worn by kings and queens, simply disappear? Some were stolen. Some melted down. Others just slipped through history's fingers. Yet a few lucky survivors still glimmer in museums and legends. This is the story of Tudor Jewels, treasures drenched in glory, betrayal, and whispered curses. From Henry VIII's magnificent crown to Anne Boleyn's mysterious bee necklace, from pearls that shaped the image of a virgin queen to gems lost in war and found in cellar walls, the saga is as glittering as it is haunting. So, why do some jewels survive while others fade into legend? Let's dig into the glittering mess and find out. The Tudors, who reigned over England from 1485 to 1603, were masters of style and fully aware that power shines brighter when draped in gold. Tudor jewels were big, rich, and symbolic. Think ropes of pearls, heavy gold chains, gem-studded brooches, and rings engraved with secret messages. Henry VIII didn't just love jewelry. He hoarded it like a magpie with a royal budget. Not just for himself, but for his wives and courtiers. His personal stash, over 2,000 dazzling pieces. And right at the top of that treasure pile, the Tudor Crown. Ah yes, the crown. Henry VIII's literal crowning glory. Officially known as the Tudor Crown, this beauty was the imperial and state crown of England, and it was outrageously lavish. It glittered with 344 jewels, 21 sapphires, 2 emeralds, 27 diamonds, and a jaw-dropping 233 pearls. Its value today would easily run into the millions. Henry VIII's crown held sacred power. Legend says it held relics like a piece of the true cross, and even a thorn from Jesus' crown of thorns. Of course, all shiny things come to an end. Sadly, it was melted down in 1649 during the English Civil War by Oliver Cromwell. Cromwell wanted to erase the monarchy, and what better way than to destroy its most glittering symbol? The crown was part of Tudor's political theater. The 5 arches gave it a heavier, more dominant silhouette, designed to make Henry appear more powerful than any other European monarch. It screamed, "I'm in charge." But don't despair. There's a plot twist. In 2012, Dr. George Sharp and a team of expert goldsmiths recreated the crown using historic records, portraits, and even 3D technology. The replica used real gold, enamel work, and semi-precious stones, and it took over 1,000 hours of careful craftsmanship. Today, the replica sits proudly at Hampton Court Palace in London, dazzling visitors and reminding us that while crowns may melt, they shine forever. As we admire the crown's revival, we're reminded of another symbol of the Tudor legacy that wasn't so lucky to survive: Anne Boleyn's lost bee necklace. The true appearance of Anne Boleyn is unknown to the majority of people. All of Boleyn's portraits were burnt after she was put to death in 1536 for treason, incest, or practically whatever else Henry VIII could think of to get rid of her so he could wed Jane Seymour. A 17th century portrait that sits in the National Portrait Gallery in London is largely responsible for our conception of Henry VIII's second wife, Anne Boleyn's famous bee necklace, made of pearls and hung with a glittering golden bee pendant. People said the necklace was her armor, a constant reminder to the court of who she was. Not just Anne, but Boleyn, the queen who unseated a queen. Behind palace doors, the whispers were juicy that the necklace had mystical powers. Some said Anne used it in dark rituals to ensnare the king. Others murmured that the bee stood for bewitched. Maybe both? After her execution, it mysteriously vanished from the royal collection. It wasn't listed among her confiscated possessions. Some believe it was hidden by a lady-in-waiting, or even buried with her. Today, the bee necklace lives on in paintings, films, and pop culture, but no one truly knows what happened to the original. People swear it still exists, waiting to resurface, on someone bold enough to wear it. Honestly, how amazing would it be if one day it just showed up again? In a dusty attic or in some antique store in the English countryside. If you ever find it, wear it boldly. But maybe avoid marrying a king, just in case. And here's the twist you didn't see coming. Queen Elizabeth I, Anne Boleyn's daughter, never dared to wear the infamous bee necklace. Maybe she thought it came with a bit too much baggage. Instead, she kept something far more intimate. A tiny secret tucked away in a locket ring. Queen Elizabeth I wore more than just jewels. She wore symbols, secrets, and stories. One of the most fascinating pieces in her treasure trove? The mysterious checkers ring. This exquisite locket ring, named after its current home at the Prime Minister's country residence, Chequers, holds within it a secret portrait. At first glance, it dazzles with a mother-of-pearl band, red and white enamel work, and 21 table-cut diamonds. But it's what's inside that makes this ring a showstopper. Lift the tiny lid, and you'll find two miniature portraits, one of Elizabeth I, and the other of a woman most historians agree is her mother, Anne Boleyn. The checkers ring was likely worn by Elizabeth until her death in 1603. It was reportedly removed from her finger by one of her ladies-in-waiting after she passed away. Since then, the ring has passed through various hands before finding a permanent home as part of the Chequers Trust collection. Its survival is miraculous. Unlike other royal items that were lost, melted down, or stolen, the checkers ring endured, tiny, fragile, and bursting with significance. But let's get back to Anne's daughter and her immense love for pearls. When baby Elizabeth was born, no one could have guessed she'd one day rule England, let alone become one of the most iconic monarchs in history. But oh, did she rise. And with serious sparkle. Elizabeth I turned jewelry into statecraft. As the daughter of Anne Boleyn, she understood better than anyone how appearances could shape destiny. Her iconic portraits show her draped in layers of jewels, her fingers bristling with rings, and her hairpins glinting with diamonds and enamel. Pearls were her favorite. They weren't just pretty, they symbolized chastity and purity. As the self-proclaimed Virgin Queen, Elizabeth practically wore pearls as armor. She gave jewelry generously as well, creating loyal alliances. Portrait miniatures, tiny painted likenesses of the Queen set into lockets, were sent to favored courtiers, a deeply personal token of royal attention. Although much of Elizabeth's personal jewelry was lost or melted down in later reigns, some pieces believed to date from her era were discovered in a buried cache in London, the Cheapside hoard. Discovered in 1912, this stash of more than 400 dazzling pieces, rings, pendants, cameos, belonged to a 16th or early 17th century jeweler. Some scholars believe a few of these pieces may have graced royal necks or fingers. When Queen Elizabeth I drew her last breath in 1603, many assumed she was carrying in her lovely pearls to the other side. On her death, the part of her pearls went to her successor James I of England, who was married to Anne of Denmark, a lady that loved pearls as much as Elizabeth did. Which begs the delicious question, could some of those royal pearls still be hiding in the British crown jewels, or even nestled in Denmark's royal vaults? And from those timeless pearls, we drift into another royal mystery, the Mirror of Naples. As with almost all Tudor jewels, which are scarcely depicted, one more jewel makes us ponder about it, the Mirror of Naples. So, what exactly is the Mirror of Naples? The existing descriptions of this jewel are a little vague. The piece was a table-cut diamond as wide as a full-sized finger, with a pigeon-sized pearl hanging from it. Believed to have been cut in the 17th century, it boasted an exceptional pear-shaped form and unmatched clarity. Throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, the diamond traveled through royal courts, changed hands during political upheavals, and even vanished for stretches of time, earning it a reputation of one of Europe's lost royal gems. And today, no museum, no auction house, no royal vault has ever confirmed its reappearance. Who knows? It may be resting in a private collection, waiting for its moment to be rediscovered. This brings us to another story, one of gold, prayer, and a queen's final hours. On February 8, 1587, Mary, Queen of Scots, walked toward her execution. Clutched in her hands was a precious object, her gold rosary, a symbol of her Catholic faith. This gold rosary would become one of the most powerful relics of Mary's life. Her rosary was made of solid gold beads and crucifix, exquisitely crafted, and it remained with her during her long imprisonment in England. Mary was a devout Catholic at a time when Catholicism was outlawed in Protestant England. The rosary did not accompany her into the grave. Instead, it was taken by one of her loyal attendants, likely to preserve it as a relic of a queen and a martyr. But in 2021, this sacred object made headlines for all the wrong reasons. In May of that year, burglars broke into Arundel Castle and stole more than $1 million worth of historical artifacts, including Mary's gold rosary. The theft stunned historians and Catholics alike. While Mary's rosary vanished into the shadows of mystery, another royal treasure continued to shine through the centuries. Tucked within the glittering annals of Tudor history is a treasure not merely of gold and enamel, but of patriotic pride and political power: the Armada Jewel. At first glance, it's a dazzling gold locket about 3 inches long. But open it, and a world of artistry is revealed. Inside sits a delicately painted miniature portrait of Queen Elizabeth I. The jewel is framed in enamel, gold, and richly colored gemstones. So, where's this sparkling slice of history hanging out today? After surviving wars, political chaos, and centuries of royal drama, the Armada Jewel now lounges peacefully at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. Still shining, still showing off. While the Armada Jewel has stood the test of time, other royal treasures haven't been so lucky. Take Jane Seymour's collection, for instance. The third wife of King Henry VIII wore some of the most iconic jewels ever to grace the English throne. These were opulent jewels: brooches, pendants, pearl necklaces, and jeweled headpieces. But, unlike her predecessor Anne Boleyn, Jane's jewels disappeared quietly, like a whisper in history. What happened to Jane Seymour's lost jewels? In the glamorous yet ruthless world of the Tudor court, recycling was all the rage. When a queen moved out, often via divorce, beheading, or death, her bling was swiftly reworked for the next royal fashionista. Also, the English Civil War led to the dismantling of many royal treasures. It's believed that any Tudor-era pieces still in the royal collection may have been melted down or sold to fund the new regime. Among the many precious relics of Tudor history, one item stands out for its powerful symbolism: Catherine of Aragon's gold pendant. Catherine of Aragon, the first wife of Henry VIII, was known for her unwavering faith, royal dignity, and strength that would eventually shape England's religious future. The surviving pendant, now held in the British Museum, is a delicate yet powerful object. Made of gold and enamel, it features a traditional design with intricate detailing. Just as Catherine's pendant speaks of faith and loss, another gem, boldly placed on the crown, hides a curious secret. Perched proudly on the front of the imperial state crown, glinting above the Cullinan II diamond, sits a mysterious red gem known as the Black Prince's Ruby. But this ruby is no ruby at all. It's a spinel. In truth, the Black Prince's ruby is a 170-carat spinel, though visually similar enough to fool even the most seasoned gem experts of the Middle Ages. This gem has survived the chaos of the Wars of the Roses, vanished and reappeared with monarchs, and likely passed through the hands of several Tudor rulers. But the Black Prince's ruby, perhaps because it was worn as a personal ornament, somehow escaped destruction. After the monarchy was restored under Charles II, the stone returned to its place among the treasures of the realm. And the best part? You can still see it today, on display with the imperial state crown at the Tower of London, gleaming silently as it has for nearly 700 years. The jewelry of the Tudors is about power, identity, and survival. Every pearl, ruby, and gold chain told a story. Some were lost forever. Some reappeared like long-lost relatives at a family reunion. And a lucky few, like the Black Prince's ruby, continue to shine in museums and palaces today. So, what Tudor treasure captures your imagination? Could Anne Boleyn's famous bee necklace still be tucked away in some dusty attic? What other glittering secrets do you think history is hiding? If you enjoyed this journey through the glittering world of the Tudors, don't forget to check out our other videos about royal families, lost treasures, and historical mysteries. Hit like, subscribe, and explore the past with us, one jewel at a time.